Alright, hey guys. Today I'm going to inform you and talk to you about environmental ethics. And on a smaller subject, we're going to talk about the three major approaches that are taken towards environmental ethics, which are anthropocentric, biocentric, and ecocentric. Along with explaining each of these approaches and giving you a better understanding of them, we'll also give examples and explain the issues that we see inside each of these approaches. The reason I am doing this is because I am fascinated that our ethical practices can be so different due to where we put our beliefs, whether it's put behind science, mankind, or all life on the planet. I myself wanted to learn more about each of the approaches and hopefully be able to make predictions about where people lean towards when viewing what they believe is important to our environment. Alright, so the first approach I'm going to talk to you about is anthropocentric. Anthropocentric is basically the belief in humans. Humans would be the most important thing in the universe, and the world should focus on their needs and experiences. Along with this, those who are anthropocentric also believe that humans are the main things that were put on this earth and nothing else was meant to be like them or us. What this means is that all on this earth is fair to go, or fair game to humans. So if there is something that that could do or could be useful for humankind, it is then okay to take it, even if it leads to high levels of depletion, or even in some cases extinction. The Bible puts out that people have the power over everything on earth. This was later changed by leaders of the different religions, saying that they only have power over that of which is useful to them. People can have a hard time grasping anthropocentric beliefs. This is due to it can cause unethical and unjust behaviors towards animals, and some animals are used for research and entertainment purposes, so that is also looked at as very bad, and it can bother a lot of people. Also, according to Britannica.com, some feminists feel that everyone is excluded from being anthropocentric, besides Western white males, and this is due to past history events. Alright, the second approach I'm going to talk about is biocentric. And biocentric is a lot different from anthropocentric in the sense that people who are biocentric see all types of life as important and valuable. Biocentric is giving all life on Earth value, not just humans. A couple known groups of people who use biocentric ideals are Buddhists, as well as some Native American groups. Native American groups sometimes view the plants and animals as spirits, and they won't kill these animals unless they are needed. They never kill something that they wouldn't eat, though, or use by themselves. Many people also have trouble listening to biocentric views. Biocentric views seem to push people towards not causing harm to living things on this planet. The problem with that is this will never be accomplished because people need these resources to live in some places. Also, this isn't just saying don't eat meat, it's also saying vegetables are protected by this, and those will be kept from eating as well. This doesn't leave humans enough resources to gain nutrients. Also, the food that we would have to eat would be such poor quality, so many would get sick and possibly die. Biocentric practices could end up actually being worse for an ecosystem. If we don't hunt or kill certain animals or plants, the numbers could get out of hand and ecosystems could lose their resources that are needed for certain living things to survive. So the third and final approach that I will be explaining is ecocentrism. Ecocentrism is defined as a philosophy of having value placed on not only all living things, but the environment that they live in as well. What this means is that ecocentric people look to keep an environment of an ecosystem as good as possible, which can mean that we either have to save certain animals or get rid of them. The most important thing in ecocentrism is to preserve ecosystems. In other words, Ecocentrism thinks the whole world has a value, and since it has been here before we have, everything is important. So now that you have a background of the three approaches I am covering, I want to talk to you a little bit about how these relate or differ from one another. Biocentrism and ecocentrism are commonly confused by people. Many people feel that they have the same practices as one another. This is not all true. Biocentric usually only focuses on feeling value for singular living things such as plants or animals. As ecocentric people believe that value can be found in more than one animal or plant, but instead it can be found in organisms that make up a greater number. So ecocentric and anthropocentric share similar beliefs as well. Ecocentric and anthropocentric both believe that living things have value to the earth. The only difference is anthropocentric beliefs differ by only believing those that give humans value are a use to the earth. Ecocentric beliefs say that all that are living or of value belong to this earth. Just quickly, I wanted to touch up. It's fairly obvious that anthropocentric and biocentric are not similar to one another, and they seem to clash with each other's views. Biocentric is saying don't harm the living organisms, and anthropocentric says they will do what's best for humankind no matter what the consequences are. So, from what I've learned through these approaches, I personally feel that you can share beliefs of more than one approach at the same time, especially biocentric and ecocentric. There could be times that a way to preserve and save the land and ecosystem is by saving the plants and animals, or ecocentric and anthropocentric if there's times that killing living organisms needs to take place to not only be helpful to humans, but to the environment as well. It's hard to say, but I myself feel that I am either ecocentric or anthropocentric. I do feel we need to preserve the whole ecosystem and look at everything and believe it all has a reason to be on this earth. But I also feel I am anthropocentric because it's the human way to want and consume things that you desire or that helps you. So my purpose today was to hopefully give you guys a better understanding and explanation on environmental ethics and the three main approaches that goes into it. The approaches can be tricky and hard to understand sometimes, but they're interesting and important to learn about. Hopefully you have a better understanding of each, and now you will be able to identify yourself with one of these approaches or be able to identify friends or other people around.